Hello there. In today's lesson, I'd like to share with you a tip on how you can get more mileage from the lines which you know by doing what I like to refer to as gear changing. Now, there are many ways in which you can adapt a line to get more mileage from it. Indeed, one line can be the basis for several different lines when you start to analyse the harmonic and rhythmic ideas that are used in one line, especially if it's say a 2-5-1 line. There's usually several concepts of practice there within one line, so whenever you do learn a new line which you add to your language, it is always important to dissect it and see how much more you can get from it rather than just playing one thing the same way every time there. So in today's lesson, I'd like to talk about one of these things, which is changing the rhythms of a line, or gear changing, if that's kind of the term that I was taught it as, being called gear changing. So all we're doing there is changing the subdivision of the rhythms. So if you took one line, like maybe if I played that has predominantly a quaver feel, right? So for 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of quavers, but if I wanted to play that in with a 16th note feel, it would sound more like that, you see. So, and it's a good way to work up your technique, your picking technique, your left hand technique, and implying things like double time feels within your soloing. So what I recommend doing is kind of practicing this in the way which I did it in the beginning of this video. I'll put on a backing track, and I'm just using a 2-5-1 example here, but you could use a simpler line, and you could then start to change the rhythms of a simple line. It's probably better if you use a simple line to begin with. The ones that I'm using here are kind of full on dense 2-5-1 quaver lines in which we have it's kind of 2 or 3 bars worth of language. So you might want to use shorter cells, like you could even use, that's kind of more of a double time feel, but if you played that slower, you could play it just to get used to switching from the different feels there, and then work up to longer 2-5-1 lines. And indeed, even with the 2-5 lines, you don't have to use the full thing. You might just want to use, I don't know, 4 or 5 notes from that rather than the entire thing. But to give you an example of how it works, if you do use it with a 2-5 line, the line which I just played then was kind of a general minor 2-5 line. So if I kind of play this with a backing track and talk about it, so you can get an understanding of what I'm doing rhythmically here. Here we go. This is a great minor 2-5 backing track here on YouTube that you can get just from typing in minor 2-5 backing track in the key of C from Better Backing Tracks. So here's how it goes. So the line normally, I'll try it again in quavers. Now 16ths. So you can hear it takes on a whole different characteristic when you start to do it. So all you have to do really is be rhythmically aware of the line that you are using. So this line that I just used then, it starts on the end of 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got to be aware of that when you change, because as you go into smaller subdivisions, the rhythmic accuracy becomes harder to predict, because you're dividing within smaller rhythmic rhythms there. So I'm you know, so when I did it then I was starting on the end of 4, but if I'm reducing that to say 16th notes, then you know that's an even smaller subdivision, so you have to be aware of where you are in the bar. So anyway, this is just a kind of a small practice tip here, but I figured the examples themselves will speak louder than words, and you know the video intro that I played there at the beginning should kind of give you an idea of what's possible there, especially with the diminished lick. That was kind of the one, you know. That one where I kind of went. If I can play it right. So sometimes if you're using a trickier lick, like that one there was a lick that I've got a video lesson about on this channel, that's called One Diminished Pattern Every Guitarist Should Know, which you can check out. That's quite a tricky fingering to use that one there when I played it in this position. So for a smoother result, I played this more on the top 2 strings, so I find it easy to play faster like that. So you know, don't be afraid to change the fingerings if you want to make things easier. Sometimes it is easier to get one shape and move it down if it's a diminished based idea, like what I did there, rather than try to play it in one position, you know. So anyway, I hope this quick tip about how to practice lines has been useful. If you did find it useful, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a like, and if you could subscribe to this channel, that would help me greatly too. So thank you for checking this video lesson out. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.